We're uh we're just gonna use this fun little mic to cover this toothpaste stain. It's been that kind of week, so let's just I'm just gonna readjust you real quick. Hopefully I don't knock my sewing machine off the table. That would be bad. And we're just gonna hi. So let me lower you down. Can you see my beading? I'm trying to also make it so that you don't see the fact that I just decided to skip out on a bra today. Maybe? Well, that's not bad. Let me just adjust just a little bit. Wow, not bad. I really need the way to like bead and like have it be visible, really, because I'm on a different phone than I used to be. I had previously had an iPhone 12 mini, which now that I have a 16, I think I have a 16 plus or something, just like a different phone altogether. And so that means that my like sense of how big my phone is like different now because it is a different size phone. So like the camera's in a different spot, like even just like adjusting to like having a real sized phone has been kind of strange for me. And right now I'm just beading like a little 4-pointed flower, like a 4-petaled flower. I did have these like yellow markings on there, which look so stupid, and then proceeded to completely ignore them. Can you even see them? Who knows? I'm gonna see if I can raise this and just have it so that it's here so that I can also see what's going on here. So right now, because I'm working on a commissioned project and also like a personal project that has a deadline. Actually, both of these pieces have deadlines. I've been really thinking about the kind of thing that makes being creative for me and like what energizes. And I have found that like, as a lot of people are, especially a lot of women and non-binary folks when it comes to their work, I am a chronic overthinker, like aggressively so. So I have found that like just being like forced to like just do it and not really think too hard about it has really changed my perspective on what it means to be creative for me personally. And I did say this in like a test video that I was just doing. I was testing out this equipment just to see if it sounded good at all. This is for my partner, a little flower tie clip. We're going to a wedding next month, which is one of the commissions I'm working on. And I wanted him to have something on him that felt like a little bit like artsy. Like I get to make stuff all the time, but he never asked me to make anything for him. I mean, even one of the like mini, like we don't really do gifts, but even like one of the gifts I got him was like a coupon to like have me make something for you, and he's like not redeemed it. So not because he doesn't like the stuff that I do, it's just I think that kind of thing doesn't like really cross his mind. So I'm just gonna take it into my own hands and make some stuff. Although right now I think I have a moratorium on jeans, on like pants bottoms, like trousers and stuff, because I've been working on like a base, like a bodice block, like a set of blocks for my body, and like I found a good like short block that I worked on, but every time I like work on it, like it fits, yes, but also it's like no matter how many times I measure, it's too long. Like something happens with the fabric and it stretches, and I like forget to stay stitch. Like it's something right now. Like Mercury, she's very much in Gatorade right now. So it's right now, and I think until Mercury is no longer in Gatorade, I think I'm gonna skip out on making pants altogether right now, just until we can figure out what's going on. And it's been really, annoying because like, the fabric I have is still usable. Don't get me wrong, but it is really irritating because I had a plan for the fabric that I was starting to make a two-piece set from, that I could like really mix and match and everything, and it was like in a good blue for my undertone and everything, and I was really excited to have it, and just everything kept going wrong. So right now, there is some sewing that I'm kind of forced to do right now because of time constraints, but for the most part, really, gosh, no pants. Clearly the universe doesn't want me to sew pants, so right now, until we figure out what's going on with me, I'm not sewing any pants. So there's my little flower so far. She's not perfect, and that's fine. My partner will enjoy it and wear it regardless, and I love him for that. So let me just need to adjust that bit real quick. Some plans for me. Creativity. So yeah, because I've been forced to do a lot of like creative handwork, a lot of which will have to be hand done over the next, month. I really have been enjoying the fact that I have no choice but to buckle down. Like there's no time to overthink. And I think there's something to be said for that. I think as like creative people, maybe that's like a thing that we have to work on, to really focus on how can we, do the thing that we want to do and just give ourselves a deadline. There's no chance to overthink it because you got to get it done. And if you don't get it done, nothing bad will happen, but you are going to feel awful about it. And so you just kind of have to buckle down and figure it out. And I've been really, it's hard to say because I'm not done with either of the things. One of them I just found out I was doing last week, but it's actually been quite like, not only humbling, but like kind of gratifying to see that like, if I needed to do something rushed, I could do it. I could just jump in and call it. Yeah. It is something. My poor sewing room. Before I started working on these two projects, I just did as much cleaning as possible because I had a meeting with a client, and it included them having to come to here and like see the place and just everything involving that. And that part is like kind of like intimidating because I don't know, because I'm such a messy person, and messy in terms of like it's not like filthy or anything. It's just I'm cluttered, because I'm just a cluttered person. I have a lot of stuff. The thing about collecting crafts like Pokemon is that you also collect craft supplies like Pokemon. What do we think of this team? Thanks. I appreciate that. And I have found that like I know like society tells you that you should really be like, keeping your space clean so that everything is like well thought out and all of that. And I found that doesn't help me. It just feels like the same energy as like a completely blank canvas, in that it feels like the scariest thing to do is start and like mar your canvas somehow. And it feels like taking like a first stroke of a new painting just so that you can kind of, what Picasso calls it, trying to like fix the canvas, right? Or like fix the painting from there. And because all of the work that I do is so like quote unquote practical in nature, practical in that it requires me to use my hands and everything like that. Like I have found that really does manifest in how I view the space that I work in. Like, yes, there's like clutter all over the place, but like that's because I am, learning how to draft patterns for myself that fit me. And all the supplies for like multiple projects are accumulated together. And this room has to serve like multiple purposes. It's not only a sewing room, but it's a home office. It's also a makeup room. It is also, if I need to do a self tape for an audition or record an audition, it's also my acting, like at home studio for acting work. And it's also, just like all of those, and just like design things and like a meeting space and all of that. Like it has to serve so much. And to try to keep a space that has to serve so much like perfectly clean, it's so difficult. It takes up so much mental energy that I have found that I really don't have half the time. Can I tell you something? I have not been doing a lot of hand beating, and I am actually quite proud of myself. This looks great. Please don't yell at me about my beading work in the comments. I'm really fragile right now. I mean, I'm not, but I thought it was funny to say. Let's see. I mean, just like the number of projects that I'm working on. Like for the wedding project, there's a suit that I need to embroider. There's like lace flowers that I need to embellish. There's a cape that I need to embroider and embellish. So those are all like really big undertakings because they all have to be done by hand. I really can't do anything by machine because of how delicate the materials are. And I don't want to risk like all that stuff being chewed up by my machine, because like specifically the tool I'm using is literally irreplaceable. Like it's vintage tool from the original dress, and I can't mess that up. So hand sewing it is. For the theater festival, I have, not only do I have scripts and myths to write, but I have a costume to make, and all the supplies for the costume are there, but I also have to like add hand embellishments to it before I can assemble it. And for the wedding guest dress that I need to make, I scrapped the original design that I wanted to make. I just found that it didn't really call to me when I made the paper mock-up. So I need to go back to the original design that I had, which is a one shoulder thing, which means that I need to actually draft that one shoulder neckline for my bodice, do the tests for it and everything, make sure it works, and make the mock-up, all of that stuff. And I have the handbag that I need to make and all of these beaded work that I need to make. And it's stuff that I all enjoy doing. It's like, don't get me wrong, I absolutely love it, but like, that something has to give, and usually it is the integrity of how clean the space is. And then I also, part of me wants to have like some sort of dress form so that it's easier for the theater festival costume, which means like looking at mannequins and like dress forms. And that part has been kind of weird because I would have to, no matter what size of dress form I get, I would have to basically make a pad and stuff it and do all of these things. So there's just like, it's just, everything's all over the place, and there's like no amount of clean room that would stop all of that madness from happening or from not happening in my brain. So we're just, embracing chaos right now. Yeah, that's where I am, embracing chaos. And it's honestly been kind of freeing to do that. And yeah. Oh, I need to add more beads. So distracted. Oh, God. Oh, you fell. Oh, dear. Oh, gosh. Okay. Hi. Yeah, we're not doing makeup right now. I mean, we are doing makeup, but just like today, of all days, just not bothering. If you're watching at this point, let me know what you think of any of the like stuff that I'm talking about, or the audio quality, or anything like that, or the fact that I didn't do a vocal warm up before speaking a bunch when I haven't spoken that much at all today into camera. So yeah, for a little preview, I had to do some drafts of the lotus flower that I wanted to work on. This version I have discovered is too big. But I'm just going to make a slightly smaller version of this. And in the center is going to be this like deeper teal going on to like lighter teal with like at the edges, at the edge top here of all the flowers have these little pearl guys, these little recycled peach beads for like a little bit of contrast. And then maybe I'll make some other type of flower using like that teal, orange, peach, green combo that like fits the aesthetic of the whole look, which is like very, like it's very, something about it I'm gonna call frog core. Like I'm in this like appley green dress and having a lily pad for a bag, having a lotus flower, like, you know, frog core, just like an elegant little frog for this. Okay. So, yep, like I said, the bag is going to be shaped like a lily pad. I haven't solidified what the earrings will be, but they will be using pearls as like one of the central like beaded elements. But I just love the idea of having something like custom. Maybe they look like, I don't know, like magical frog eggs or something. Who knows? Just like kind of, I don't know, something about the idea of conceptualizing a bunch of little pieces and wanting to like embrace like the more quirky desires for a wardrobe that I have that I just have never really had the wherewithal to pursue. Okay, I'm just gonna pause speaking real quick I need to map out where this is gonna go. Usually I would consider myself like a primarily timbre embroidery beater, but I have been really enjoying the act of hand embroidery, but also it's mostly because like my timbre hook doesn't fit the new needles I got. Like I actually got some good quality timbre hooks. I need a good quality timbre like handle to match it. I just because the needles that I got, I didn't realize they weren't going to fit until they got here. So, but because of that, I've switched over to hand beating because I knew like pretty much all the pieces I was going to make were relatively small, and it honestly has been taking a lot less time than doing the timbre because you have to set it up, you have to like make sure that the stand is correct and all of these things, and just like being able to only need to have one hand actually applying all of the beads to make an applique it's been really nice. And because of like different sewing and costuming projects, I have been really good about trying to get quicker with my hand stitching. So that means that like this is just another attempt for me to improve my hand stitching. I really want to like buckle down after I have some free time, which won't be until around November, but just to focus on just like getting to make stuff and getting to do all the stuff that I love doing, which is, you know, finding ways to incorporate more like handmade details and embracing the fact that I am making clothes by hand for myself, different than like clothes being made by hand by someone else who doesn't necessarily have the same amount of like autonomy over what they get to do with their work and how they get compensated for that work, and being able to have that level of control and being able to embrace it through allowing for like hand stitch details. Like it would be so nice to have time to do an entirely hand stitched garment that doesn't have like a machine stitch intervention. Probably wouldn't happen. I'd probably end up, you know, being like, I'm just going to use the machine. I've got them at home, you know? But it's a nice idea getting to, you know, fantasize about that kind of thing, and just really be able to take my time and enjoy the process of making and also have a garment out of it. My hope is I'd also be able to document that journey too. So what I'm doing right now, because I don't think it's very visible on camera, I haven't really been looking at the viewfinder on my camera to see how well the visual is. I mostly have just been yapping like a little podcast at this point. Is I'm kind of alternating between, most of the time I'm only doing like 1 or 2 beads at a time and just back stitching through the last bead before moving forward. But for like longer stretches of bead, I'll do like 4 or 5 or 6, and then I will kind of couch them so they maintain this like little round shape. I originally did mark it with a mark, this is an erasable highlighter, I want to say. Just like an erasable marker, I believe. But this is on felt, so I'm not going to bother erasing it. But what I found is like, I don't, it wasn't like the right size somehow. So after I made these little internal deeper blue little triangles here, I just freehanded the petals. Because this will be a fine size. And worst case scenario is that I'll have to do 2 clips, but that's not that big of a deal. So I'm just freehanding this last petal, and then I will fill them in with the same color bead, and then I will cut it out. Take the tie clip and slide it probably like in between the two of these petals here, and like some diagonal, like some orientation, and then take another piece of felt backing and just whip it around so that it covers it up, so that it stays put the whole time. And then that will be done, and that will be something that I can wonderfully check off of my to make before September 6th list. Like I said, I've got like a little over a month to really get a lot of this work done, and it can be done, especially if you're like me and you're trying to really free up your schedule with other stuff right now. I did see the show already last week. The Kimberly Akimbo musical is in town right now. If you didn't know, I'm based in Cleveland. And I got to see it last week, and I enjoyed myself, even though I'm not a musical theater person. And someone invited me to go to the show tonight, and I just I needed to work, so I had to say no. But I told them they were in for a treat anyway, and that I hope they enjoyed it. So if you're watching, dear friend, sincere apologies. I decided to work because the other option was to go see some Shakespeare in the park. If you're not from this area, people talk about like the food or the sports and everything, but like, man, we here are spoiled for choice when it comes to the art scene here in Cleveland, and it's one of those things I wish more people would see. Like I said, I do a lot of work in this area, and really appreciate the work that does get done here. I might have made this a tad too short, but that's fine. We'll figure it out. See, here's the thing. Because I already love doing hand embroidery, this really makes me happy. You can barely see it because I'm doing a matching thread, but look how neat they look. Okay. Let me redo this thread, and I will be back. Yeah, we're gonna let that stay in. That is the other good thing about felt, that I don't need to really go through much to get it under, but the big problem is that this beading needle is so long that I really kind of have to. I did finally get some replacement beading needles today while I was at Michael's. Took me forever to realize they were going to be in the beaded jewelry section rather than in the needle section, which, why not both? ¿Por qué no los dos, Okay, there we go. But yeah, I am not a big fan of Michael's, if I'm honest with you. Not that I have a choice anymore, which we love, but I used to love their beading selection a lot more, but man, when I didn't, so the teal that I'm going with for my like coordinating beaded elements for my outfit, this was not like my first or even like my second choice. I still love it, don't get me wrong. Like, I love this color. I'm really excited to have stuff in this color. But the choice used to be so much better. I don't know what happened. Yeah, so it's really messed up. I wish Michaels would really up their game when it comes to other elements. And I know like part of it is that I'm in a particular suburb. There's a specific demand for, you know, Cricut. There should be no need for Cricut to have like 3 or 4 aisles of stuff. I swear to goodness. Oh my God. Hold please. I'm sorry. All of my stuff is in a bag. I guess I could take it all out since I was working in my living room earlier so that I could spend time with my partner before he went to a movie. I guess it was some rare movie that only has like one original film copy, and they're playing that film copy tonight at the Cinematheque on the other side of town. So I just was like, get out of here. Go see your movie, you know? So I went to go spend some time with him. We had dinner, or, you know, we ate dinner and watched some YouTube, and then he was on about his way. So pardon me as I get all of the stuff out. I'll have to like go through and reorganize everything. So I got these like colored eye beading needles, which is cool. I don't think I've ever had multiple size beading needles together. I think the ones that I have are just size 11, I believe, that are just super long. Size 11 or 12. Probably 12. Because they're extremely thin. Really, really hard to thread. But I do actually love them. I've really gotten used to them. So, and then for my earrings, I got some like gold-plated earring posts, and some plastic ear backs that I can use. So I guess if this works, then I gotta make 9 more pairs of earrings, because them's the rules, I guess. So what else did I put in here? Oh, for this project, I pulled out some spare recycled beads. Pro tip, if you're like getting into beading, don't spend a bunch of money at Michael's or whatever local bead shop or craft store you have. Go to the thrift store. That's where I got these guys that I love. That's where I got these guys. I think I also got these like gold bugle beads from the thrift store. Yes, I just did haul a bunch of stuff from Michael's, but I'm telling you, like, a good portion of my collection of beads comes from the thrift store. Really just like going through, giving a touch and feel. Like, I will tell you that if you're in an air-conditioned thrift store, a good tell for whether it's glass or plastic is usually if it's cold to the touch when you get to it. If it's like warm or like just doesn't feel right, it's typically plastic. Not that plastic is bad for recycling. It's important that we try to keep that out of landfill, and recycling is the one way to do that. Let me look up. So it's important that if you're going to go shop for beads, that, you know, if you are looking to recycle beads and you find that they're plastic when you go in store, that's not necessarily a bad thing. I mean, I do have some plastic beads in my collection. Majority are glass, but like these cute little like olivey gray ones, these are plastic. These are plastic. I mean, you can also hear it when these I believe are glass. Yeah, I got this from Michael's. But like these I also thrifted from the craft thrift store on the other side of town a while back. But these are plastic iridescent bugle beads that I'm using for the bag. I don't think I've actually drawn down the whole design of the bag. The only thing I wanted to conceive of was really the pattern. But so the reason I'm using these is I want the metaphor for it to look like a little bit like rain. So I have either these or like some pink faceted beads that I'm going to use to look like raindrops that are falling off the lily pad. So what I'm saying is, like, yes, I have a lot of work, but this stuff has been really fun to do. So yeah, a lot of, this whole thing here came from like a multi-strand seed bead necklace. All of these are glass seed beads. And I got, like, this amount would cost you like the same as like this. Like it would have been like $6 at Michael's. I'm like just shaking around the microphone. This would have been $6 at Michael's, but the whole necklace was $6. And there are like 3 other colors in the same quantity. So really look at the thrift store for ideas. I mean, thrift stores are great for also getting fabric to practice on. And I am talking so much. And yeah, and also because thrift stores have a limitation on like what the supply is, like there's no quote unquote endless supply of like things, especially if you want something kind of specific. It really teaches you like how can you work within the restraints of what you want to do. I'm just yapping now, so we'll see. But I'm gonna keep working on this, and I will show you the finished result when I'm done, and hopefully I will have gotten to work on other stuff. So thank you so much for letting me yap at you. Let me know about your thoughts on creativity and how you want to, I can't post this. I can't post this. I need to like at least outline if I'm going to do thoughts about this kind of thing, but it's been a lot to think about and like how to organize my thoughts, and I refuse to use if I hear one more piece of advice about making stuff and utilizing AI, I'd rather never post again than have to use AI. I just, like, I tried it a couple times, like just like composing ideas, and it just like felt awful to do it. Like I felt like I was not engaging in any part of the creative process really. It was just like creative stuff was being fed to me, and it wasn't creative stuff. It was just regurgitated advice that you get from, creators who are trying to sell you something. And I'm like, yeah, I haven't been posting, if I'm fully honest with you. And it's partly because like I've been busy, partly because I've been exhausted, but also partly because I'm really fed up with the idea of like having to engage in platforms that are forcing us into environmental ruin by requiring AI to be incorporated in their technologies. And that's like really, it's been a really harrowing thought. Man, this rant and the little rant about AI is just, yeah, it's been, I'm trying to just like speak my thoughts, but like, I get that AI is really helpful for people in workplaces, people working in tech. I know that it's unavoidable. I am not saying don't learn it. I am saying that the people who are pro AI have not figured out how to take their jobs using AI yet. And I'm saying this as like an actor. I am saying this as someone who also makes clothing and designs for theater, and as someone who wants to, be able to be creative and show that online and all of that. And like, there are some things about the things that I want to do that AI can never take away from me. AI, despite what they promised, cannot make your clothes for you. That has to be done with human labor. Someone has to push something through a machine. Like, you can't just like have it completely be separated from human touch clothing, which is why I love it so much, because there's going to be an inherent level of imperfection to it because it's made by people. But the idea that people want to replace actors in screen productions with AI, want to making art with AI, want to reproduce the customer experience with AI, like, The reason we stick with that is because people are involved and people want to talk to people. People don't want to talk to robots. I mean, every day I hear about people wanting, like, yelling because they think they're talking to a robot. Like, we don't want that. And it's still being forced upon us. The idea that even being creative can be something to be done with AI, I don't think it should be. And I understand, like, the desire to want to do with AI. Like I said, I've tried it. I'm not judging people for it. I am saying that once you learn the environmental risk, once you learn the risk on human capital, on I hate that term, but on just like the resources that people can offer, and the fact that it's inherently like taking art that's already been made, you know, taking from that and making something that has taken all the humanity out of it. The fact that we're even just talking about wanting all of that is really a telling sign of where we are as a society. Like, why would I want the humanity out of art? That's why we consume art. Like, right? So, I don't know how I got to this. I mean, the act of having to do this, like, AI can't bead my stuff for me. AI can't do beading for you. AI can't sew for you. AI can't, I mean, AI should clean your room for you so that you have time to do the art. That's what we were promised. But AI like can't do that for you. It can't be a person in front of you for you. I mean, that's why I think you'll see a lot of people turning to theater in the next like 10 years, is because if AI is going to take all the screen acting jobs, like, all those actors are going to go do theater. And then now it's more inaccessible for you to go see it, especially if they're going to stick to Broadway. Because it's going to be more expensive. AI is going to take a job from you that you didn't want anyway because you wanted to pursue something else. I'll just edit this out and just like have a rant about AI. Yeah, I just like the idea of wanting to like outsource the creative process is just like something that, for lack of a better term, does not compute at all. Where did this come from? Anyway, thank you for watching. Fuck AI. I'm not monetized, so who cares? And I will probably never post this. It's 40 minutes long right now. I've been filming for 40 minutes, and I've promised myself that if I can't edit, then I'm not going to edit. But that means that, like, if I don't do it live and I don't like it, it doesn't get posted. So here we are. Yeah. Maybe I will post it. Yeah. I'm going to post it, and it's going to be crazy, and no one's going to watch it, and that's fine. But here we are. Okay, I will see you next time with another video where I talk about my projects and show you what I've worked on and talk more about how messy creativity can be. Okay, bye.